show with Irish show with Irish show. Sometimes it's good to just yell about football. What are you doing? Don't do this to me, Harry! The Ohio State. It's Ohio State! What do you mean, the? It's a poison! I almost stroked out and died over it. I'm glad to be at the party. I'm mad we're this late. You ain't a captain of nothing but a sinking ship! That helps the defense without them even doing a damn thing! Doing a damn thing! The call-in line. 312-988-15. You tell Johnny all you've heard and seen. Oh, Irish! Oh, Irish! Oh, Irish! Oh, Irish! Irish! Yeah, that's right. Oh, Irish! Oh, Irish! Oh, Irish! Oh, Irish! Irish! Yeah, that's right. That's right. Welcome in, welcome back, everybody. Welcome in, welcome back. It's the pregame party for the game that nobody's excited about. Nobody's excited. Maybe I'm missing something. Nobody's excited. It's giving me Marshall flashbacks. And I just hope that the rest of the weekend doesn't go like that. All right? I'm sorry. I'm a little worked up. There's no juice. There's no juice this week. There ain't nothing. This game has nothing. Nobody's excited. It's amazing, and it's making me uncomfortable. Let's get into it. Thank you for being here on a Friday night. I know, Nick, I agree with you. Nick's saying every game counts, Johnny. I know that. We spent all summer in the heat going, man, what I wouldn't give for Notre Dame football to be right now so we could be all worried about it and everything and all this. And now it's here and we're into week 2 and people are sleeping. When I say no juice, a part of what I mean is, let me get through the introduction. There's a calculation to this when I say there's no juice. Let's get through the introduction and I'll explain what I mean. Obviously, thank you for being here first and foremost. Secondly, you can find the program on YouTube. Do it. Subscribe if you haven't yet. Appreciate it very much. Give the video a thumbs up. That helps as well. Notifications on that way you alerted every time a new episode drops. You don't want to miss it. Twitter, search bar, Always Irish Rat. Always Irish Inc. Emails, alwaysirishandy@gmail.com. Audio only anywhere you want it. You can get it the call-in lines. 312-988-15. You know the story. You call, tell John all you've heard and seen. Instagram, Facebook, Always Irish Inc. Go check it out. Fighting Irish Wire. Every single day we have articles right now. If you go there, you can see all of the wonderful staff's game picks. Newsflash. Everybody got Notre Dame winning. Everybody's got Notre Dame winning. Thanks for being here. Let's do a little roll call. Let's see who we got. Oh man, this is awkward. This has been an awkward week. Something about this game, you guys. There's nothing there. There's nothing there. There's no storylines. There's no juice. There's no rivalry. There's not even anxiety. I don't even hear people saying like, what if you sleepwalk tomorrow? Like, it's like the game's over and it hadn't even been played yet. And it's throwing me off. I don't know how to react to that. It's just been a weird week. And when I say there's no juice, a part of what I mean by no juice is that the numbers are off. Like, you get these numbers when you do YouTube and everything, and you figure out your routine and your levels in season, out of season. Certain games are going to be higher than others. You learn that rhythm. There ain't nothing this week. Nobody has any interest. So I'm fine with that. As a practical matter, looking at the matchup and the talent, I'm totally fine with there not being any juice. The issue is I need the team to have juice. Even if we don't, and everybody knows this game ain't Ohio State. This game ain't USC. This game ain't Clemson. Everybody knows that. And nobody's telling you that it is those things. But I just get nervous when the fan base is disengaged. That's where I just get a little nervous through I just my history with Notre Dame. When there's no juice with the fan base, too many times I've seen the team come out and play with no juice. Like it just kind of feeds one thing into the next, and there's just no juice there. And so I'm open to this too. Maybe you don't need any juice. Maybe it doesn't matter if that place is a morgue tomorrow, full of people who drank too much in the pregame, and now they're sitting in the sun and they're miserable, and they're playing a team we've never heard of. Fine. As long as the guys come out ready, that's fine if the fan base is disengaged. I'm fine as long as those guys show up. Here's the other way it could go, though. Follow me here. Here's the other way this could go. And I'm open to this. And I'm open and I'm hoping. All right? Follow me here. On the schedule, you knew when you saw Tennessee State, it was going to be a lull, and a downtrend in excitement and everything. It isn't the first game. And I know Navy isn't a big deal either. But when you're the first game, everything's a big deal. If it's game one, everything's a big deal. Doesn't matter, right? You're going to get overhyped for that. And I knew that this Tennessee State, I'm losing my mind. We need to get through this game. I'm over this game. I've decided, and it doesn't have anything to do with who it is. It's just the way it's built. It's just awkward to talk about, awkward to break down. Here's my thought about last week, tying it into this week. I feel like it's going to be sleepy in there tomorrow, but I'm open to this. I'm open to the idea that enough people were excited about what they saw last week. They're going to be loud anyways tomorrow. And that may be foolish of me to give our fan base that much credit or whatever. I don't know. But I'm totally open to the idea that what would normally be a sleepy home game in South Bend with nothing happening, maybe enough people are excited about what Hartman did and how the team looked last week. Maybe they'll be excited anyways. And so I'm genuinely intrigued just to see how this experiment goes. Here's the other thing. This provides Notre Dame an opportunity. 574, I see you, and I'm going to come to you. Here, I don't like this game. I just don't. I don't. I've been sitting here trying to figure out all day how you can make this into something it isn't. There is no way to make it something it isn't. It isn't a game that excites you. It isn't a game that has juice. It's not a rivalry. Here's what it needs to be. This game tomorrow needs to feel more like when you tune in and you see Alabama or Georgia playing Central, high school, United States, whatever, and nobody cares about the game except for their fans, and they're killing them so much that, you can afford to empty out the bench and let those guys play, and it's just over, and the starters know they're getting half a game, and then that's it, and everybody, and whatever, and you work on everything else. Think about it this way. Maybe Notre Dame could be in the rare position that they're never in to be able to blow somebody out big time and then feel like a big boy. Feel like a big boy. You know those big boys? I like the idea that maybe you could go ahead and empty your bench and get all those depth guys, snaps and experience and catches and whatever else in a way Notre Dame's not used to doing. We don't blow out a lot of teams. Under Brian Kelly, we weren't good enough to blow out a lot of teams. There have not been a lot of opportunities for Notre Dame in the last 10 or 15 years to be able to operate like a big boy where you could literally dedicate a half to your bench, seeing what you have in the backup quarterback, seeing what you have in the backup everything. So maybe this could be a way to usher Notre Dame more into that world. And I'm stretching here. I'm struggling. I'm stretching here. I want this game over and done with. Win by 50. Nobody gets hurt. Move it on. Move on to that unimpressive NC State. I'm ready for that. At least it'll be more of a physical test. So I'm out of sorts with this one, you guys. I am looking for angles and I'm pulling. And there just isn't much cooking. There isn't much cooking. You need to get your objectives, whatever they are, the main things you feel like as a staff, Notre Dame staff, that they feel like their guys need to work on to get better before NC State. Make those a priority. And as soon as that checklist is done and you're winning by 4 or 5 scores, get everybody we care about staying in one piece on the, I don't mean everyone we care, but like if you're second string, I don't care if you get hurt. You know what I mean? Get Hartman's ass out of that damn game. Get them guys out. And so maybe this is an opportunity for Notre Dame to flex their big boy muscle in a way we usually don't. And have a relaxing afternoon and get a bunch of guys snaps that you don't think matters, but they all add up and end up mattering down the road. I don't know. But I am struggling a little bit with this one. And the numbers don't lie. All of the metrics on YouTube, all the metrics on Twitter, and all the metrics on USA Today for the articles, they're just down. They're down this week. You can't manufacture emotion that isn't there. You cannot manufacture emotion that's just not ever going to be there. And you're not going to have any for this game. It is incumbent on Notre Dame to do their business. 773, I see you. I know who you are. All right? Get your business done, Notre Dame. Get this business done and get it over with. Take care of it and get your guys out and move it on. I don't know what else to tell you. Get these guys some work. Get Merriweather's confidence up. Do what you need to do. I want to see these rotations. I want to see the defensive lineman rotation. I want to see backup offensive linemen. I want to see all these backs get plenty of chances to make flash plays tomorrow. I want to see all that. Get Hartman out of there as soon as you can. That's got to happen. Oh, 773. What's going on again?
I actually didn't intend for you to take my call.
Pat, there just ain't no juice, man. There's no juice. There's nothing going on. There's no energy. It's the night before Notre Dame and everybody's just, it's like it's not happening. It's awkward, Pat. Pat, it's awkward, though. I've never prepped for a game since doing what I'm doing, like 6 years or whatever. I've never prepped for a game like this. I don't know how to handle it, man. There's nothing going on.
Well, the good thing is that I had corned beef brats tonight.
Well, that sounds
pretty good.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah, not the same as regular corned beef. I'll still smoke my corned beef over the brats, but it was pretty interesting. So what else is going on?
What else? What else is going on is I need Sam Hartman out of this game by halftime. That's what else is going on. I don't need that guy. The last thing I need that dude doing is running around when we're up 4 scores and busting an ankle or something. Get that guy out of there. Get him out.
The last thing you need Sam Hartman doing is taking the field tomorrow.
What, do you want him to not even play at all? Just sit this one out or what?
Yeah, why not? Why not?
I don't know.
I can go out there and block this team.
That's the other thing, Pat. Is there any way at all Notre Dame sleepwalks and this ends up being a frustration, or is that not even possible?
No, it's not possible.
That's
Like,
what
Notre
I'm
Dame
thinking
can
too.
sleepwalk, and Notre Dame can sleepwalk, and they'll win by 40.
And like people were talking about
but here's
like
the thing, if Notre Dame
Marshall,
sleepwalks and wins by-
dude, people that can't play at Marshall end up transferring here. Like, it's not even the same as that. Like, people that don't play there transfer here. I don't know, man.
Yeah. So have a good show tonight, Johnny. We're gonna go. The wife and I are gonna go for a little road trip.
All right.
You can go have some fun. We're gonna go bug bomb the trailer. Here, Lauren, say hi to John.
Hi, John.
What's up, Lauren? All right. Go have fun, Pat. Don't worry about Notre Dame.
We're gonna do that.
Let me worry about it. Go have fun.
Have a good show, John. Everybody, super chat John. Give him some thumbs up. He needs it tonight of all nights. He needs. What the hell are you doing? Okay, he needs it more than ever tonight because he's struggling to stay awake at the moment.
I just can't. There's no juice, and it's bugging me. It makes me.
No
it's very awkward.
There's no. You got some gin and juice in your cup?
I need some juice, baby. Maybe that'll liven me up. Give me some of that juice. Bring
Come
your
on,
own
Snooperoo.
juice. Bring your own juice. All right, Pat. Go have fun. Bye.
Later, buddy.
Bye. Jeez. Super chats are in the house. Look at this. $2. A $2 holler from Phil. Relax. And D wins easily. And Jelly plays the second half. I like it. It's a $5 holler from Jake. Jacob Brown. Got my ticks to Ohio State. RIP to my bank account. This is all I can afford, John. You messed up then. You messed up. I tell everybody, if you're in a position like that, and you got some money to play with for something you like, and that's it, and it's just going to be one thing, you always pick a concert. You don't pick your favorite sporting events. No, because there's a 50% chance or better, especially if you're a Notre Dame fan in a big game, your day's going to be ruined and you're going to be miserable. It's just a big gamble. If you're going to pay thousands of dollars, it's either got to be Notre Dame playing like in a playoff where you know they're good, they've proven to you they're good, then it's worth it. But only when they prove they're elite, then it's worth spending that money for. Anything else, I say you pick your favorite person, you go to that concert. You know what you're getting, and you know what the encore is going to be, and you're going to like it. You spend it on Notre Dame. You know how many dollars I've spent on Notre Dame only to have the most miserable day of my life repeatedly? Telling you, the amount of money Brian Kelly owes me for my hairline and wallet is immeasurable by now. Thank you for the donation. $2 holler from Pat. He's trying to stir stuff up. Who's your daddy? $5 holler. Thank you very much, sir. Jose, $5 holler. Thank you, my friend. John, is USC going to be undefeated, or did San Jose State get the W? Yeah, I think USC is going to be fairly untested by the time Notre Dame plays them. I just look at their schedule, and I just don't see them. I don't see anybody that can hang with them offensively or hold them down offensively enough until they play Notre Dame. I don't see it. I just don't see it. Let's go. A couple phone calls. 574. What's going on tonight? Maybe if I hit the button. What's going on?
Hey, Johnny. How you doing?
I'm okay. This is just a weird setup, man. I'm in a weird space this week. It's like I know we're playing, but it just doesn't feel like we're playing. It's just throwing me off. Where are you at?
I know. I mean, this is what it feels like to be the Michigan Wolverines, you know?
Yeah, for about the next 3 months in a row. And then that second week in November comes and they start playing people. Yeah, it's just, there's a game. There's just not a lot of buildup or excitement. I thought maybe after last week, everybody would be all excited and want to see more of it. There ain't many vibes, man.
No, it's completely different. You're right. I'm not used to this. I mean, I make fun of Alabama and other schools doing the same crap every year. And then here we are. We schedule a school like this. And I'm sitting here thinking Tennessee State, and I'm getting blown all kinds of shit at work from my buddies. And, you know, I'm like, hey, you know, it's not my fault. We'll just have to come out there and crush their ass, and hopefully we get to see some Angeli in the second half.
Yeah, I mean, you got to have objectives within the game. If you're in one of these games, which Notre Dame, this is new territory for, I just think you need to have priorities beyond just win. What do we got to do to win the game? I hope Marcus has a checklist. It might have 5 or 6 items on it. I want to see this and this and this and this. And when those are accomplished and the scoreboard looks right, you get those guys out of there. So whatever work they need to do early and then get Hartman and them guys out. I don't know, man. It's just a weird week.
Yeah, I mean, that is the one good thing about this, Johnny, is, it gives a chance. And this is, okay, I'm tired of hearing the Marshall comparisons. This team is not the same team we had last year. We got a different OC. We have Sam Hartman.
And
we have improved linebackers, improved corners.
Tennessee State so like we wanted to blow out Marshall. Guys that can't play at Marshall go to Tennessee State. Like this is dropping down a level even below that level, and everybody went into that game saying we need to blow them out. So it's like, dude, I'm just in a weird spot, man. I'm in a weird spot. You better win by like 50 and just forget this.
I think we're going to be up at least, I'm going to say 4 or 5 touchdowns by half, I'm hoping. And like I said, I'm really hoping to see some of the backups come in, some of the second stringers. I mean, you need to get them some experience. Angeli needs to get some game experience. We don't know who's going to be the starting quarterback next year. And if it is Angeli, he needs to get his ass in there in some of these games, get some reps, get some stuff, get in the fluid of the game. And that way he's ready. He's good to go. And God forbid anything ever happened to Sam Hartman this year. Yeah. Jesus Christ. But if that does happen, Angeli needs to be ready to jump in there and go. I don't want to hear any of this bullshit we got last year with Drew Pine coming in. I don't want to go through that again. I'm going to lose my damn mind. Angeli has got to be ready to go.
Yeah, you're right. And it is twofold. 937 coming to you next. And I saw somebody else drop off. Call back if you want a few minutes. The Angeli thing is real for 2 reasons. And you brought him up. You're one play away, knock on wood, God forbid, that he's going to have to come in for Hartman. And more experience, the better. But the other part is, they need to have an idea of the level Angeli's at by the end of this year, because they're going to have to make a decision whether or not to look in the portal or if the starter's going to come out of the guys in-house, Minchie, Angeli, and then Carr coming in. And I anticipate him redshirting unless you just can't. If he comes in so big and strong with an arm and is clearly the best guy, you got to go with it. But they need to have an idea of Angeli's level to be able to go into the offseason to make that portal decision again. And you got to see the guy play.
Oh, no doubt about it. Absolutely. And, Minchie's going to be in his second year. I'm sure he'll probably redshirt this year. So, who knows if he'll even be close to, ready to next year. I mean, he's got to get some experience, to get to that level.
Yeah.
And the same way with Carr too. He's going to come in very inexperienced. So I don't know what for sure we're going to get next year with Buckner going to Alabama. And then, to me right now, if I had to make a decision from what I've seen, it's going to be Angeli. But, you don't know what's going to happen here, and you don't know what's going to happen in the transfer portal.
But I mean, but you're saying from what I've seen, I in no way feel like I have a profile of Angeli enough for me to make any sort of I haven't seen him play enough. And I don't just want to see him come in when we're winning by a lot and you hand the ball off and don't run the real offense. Those are not real snaps to me. That's why it's critical to get ahead by enough. You can put the guys in and run what you would regularly run and see how they do with it. I want to see a lot of that.
Oh, absolutely. Angeli in the blue gold game and Angeli versus the second string on whoever, Tennessee State throws at him tomorrow. If he does even make it in the second half, that's a whole different thing. I'm just saying right now it's a real toss up as far as who gets the nod, behind the center next year.
Yeah, it's just I don't know how that's going to go. And I've been on record saying at some point you would hope Notre Dame could hitch their wagon to an in-house guy for some stability and develop with the guy for a few years. And you just can't do that if you're going to the portal all the time. And while I say that, I wanted him to get Hartman because he's better than anything you got. So if there's a portal guy interested that's better than what you got to go with it. But Hartman, a Hartman type guy picking ND, I don't think it's going to happen yearly.
Right. Yeah. Hey, I wanted to ask you, do you think you still plan on maybe doing the Seminoles and LSU game Sunday night?
I think I might have stream like I am now, and on my other call screener software screen, have the call screen up in one window and then stream the game on another YouTube window and do it that way. And then maybe, I don't know, maybe it'd be fun. People could relax, drink a couple beers. Notre Dame's not on, so we're not stressing. And maybe we could all root against Brian Kelly together. I don't know. It sounds like fun on a Sunday night when nobody got to work Monday. I don't know.
Hell yeah, that sounds like a great idea. You know, I'm always rooting against Brian Kelly. That guy drove me up a damn wall when he was in South Bend. I mean, that guy was so goddamn lazy as far as getting recruits in. All he freaking cared about is his freaking tea time at the golf course on Saturday morning. He didn't give two shits about hopping a plane and trying to get some talent into town.
Hey, you don't mess with Kelly's tea time, all right, buddy? We have priorities here, and that tea time is right up there, all right? You do not mess with Kelly's tea time. I've been saying very desperate circumstances put John in a position at the roof for Florida State, but that's what I'm doing Sunday night.
Yeah, hell yeah, me too, buddy. I mean, hell, you and I both together, we can put some war paint on, get the chant going, get the tomahawk out. Let's fucking go.
There you go. I like that. And then Monday has a lot of Notre Dame interest. I don't even know if people remembered Clemson Duke is Monday. That's a great ball game, and it affects us both ways. I'm very excited about that game.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Absolutely. And you know what? We'll have to see what we get with Clemson and their quarterback. You know, I know I want to see some more experience there before I make a decision on what I think of them. I mean, it's going to be tough. We got to go to Clemson. That's not an easy place to go and play. At the same time, I think if we can keep playing like we played and keep improving through the year, by the time we get to Clemson, hopefully our guys have enough experience and we can go in there and actually make it a heck of a game to win that sucker.
Yeah. See, but the issue with that is Clemson's probably thinking if we could get Cade Klubnik it like ingratiated into all this and then have a cut 2.5 months or whatever, then we'll be way better. So they're hoping that it being later in the year benefits them to where Klubnik can learn a new offense with Riley and everything and then go and whatever. That one is the toughest of the big three for me to analyze. It's so far down the road. I just don't know the circumstances yet, where the Ohio State one is like more immediate and you can kind of see that tracking. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that definitely makes sense. You know, out of the big, okay, so you've said this and I'm going to say it right now. If Caleb Williams comes into South Bend in that stadium and he has those goddamn nails painted like he had out there in the Coliseum, I might personally jump over that goddamn wall and tackle his ass on that field because that's bull BS. You know that. That's completely disrespectful. And if him to come into South Bend and do that, and our guys and our linebackers don't have a problem with that, there's a real issue there, Johnny.
I lost my mind over this. Like right before the 3 weeks ago, I went off about this exact topic. And I said, if you're in LA, you're in Hollywood, you want to do that in your home, it is your home to do what you want. And you want to paint your nails, F Notre Dame, and you're at home and it's Hollywood and anything goes and there's no morals and everybody does whatever they want and whatever. If you want to do that in LA, fine. It is your home. You don't get to do that in our place. You do not get to do that in our place. If you're going to do that in our place, somebody needs to make an issue of it, and I will hold it against the team if they don't. I'm with you. You want to do it at home? Go for it, but you're not doing it here. No.
Hell no. No way. No, absolutely not. I mean, you want to go out there and do that stuff to impress your little girlies out there while you're trying to act like you're Mr. Surfboard dude in the ocean, whatever. Do whatever you got to do, but don't be coming in here to South Bend and pulling that crap off. That ain't going to happen. It better not happen anyhow.
Nope. I need our guys to make an issue of that if you do, and let them know before the game and during it. You're not doing that here. I'm already worked up about that game and that guy, and just the Notre Dame's got to get that one, and you got to hit that kid, hit him again, and every time he gets up, hit him, and every time he throws it, hit him, every time he runs, hit him. You need to hit the guy. One thing we didn't do a lot of last year when he was running around.
Oh, absolutely. Get in there and rattle his freaking cage and rattle it early. I mean, Jiminy Christmas. Get out there. Maris better not run into a goddamn wall. Get your ass through the gap. Get your ass in the backfield. Get home. Send him straight to the ground. You know what even if it's early in the game. If it's early in the game. You know, if you can afford to take a 15-yard penalty and plant his ass, now I'm not saying go do something stupid where you're going to be suspended or anything like that.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, get in there, knock his ass out, take his ass to the ground, and let's not play around here. Let's send a message early. Rattle his cage, get him bothered so he knows you don't have all day to sit back there and pick the defense and look around and find his open receiver.
Yep. The only way you shut that dude down is to not let him get going. And I know he's slippery, but you got to grab him and you got to hit him and you got to prevent him from being able to find those wide receivers. Similar thing when you're looking at Ohio State, Notre Dame, very similar, is they're going to have an fairly inexperienced quarterback. They have elite skill talent. It tells me you got to confuse, rattle, and beat that kid up before he gets the ball to all that skill talent. Like, this game's not hard. Like, you got to confuse that kid and beat that kid up and get to him. You can't just let him throw the ball to those guys and then they're off to the races. Like, you got to get after it. And that's a part of what I want to see tomorrow, man. I want to see our defense against a more traditional offense, not the weird Navy stuff. I want to see what they look like. They should be in the backfield every half a second tomorrow. And if they're not, I'm not going to like it. I ain't going to be happy.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, if Notre Dame comes out tomorrow, and if this even starts to resemble like anything we've seen last year against Marshall, I'm going to lose my goddamn mind, Johnny. I'm serious.
Yeah.
I don't even want to see this.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, Tennessee State. Are you kidding me?
You know what? A part of it is.
Sit here.
A part of it is, I want to see how Notre Dame handles the success of last week. And one of the big things I'm noticing, man, is there has been a lot of sloppy play. All the other teams that are having their first games, dumb penalties, dumb mistakes, this and that, all these things. Notre Dame had a pretty tight operation last week. I was very impressed with how put together everything was on the field, coaching, organization-wise for week one. I want to see how they handle that success. Do they come back home and they're focused on their work, play a sharp game, kick the shit out of these guys, and then get the next guys in there? Or are we messing around? I'm really looking for that tomorrow. I want to see them get their objectives done, win by a lot, play a clean game, and get out of there. That's it.
Oh, absolutely. And that's what I'm hoping for. I mean, I think honestly, and I've said this to you before when we've talked, with Sam Hartman there behind the center as a quarterback, he's a way better leader, much bigger than what we've had before.
Yep.
And he is not going to let us sit there and struggle to put points on the board like we had last year. It's not going to happen with him.
Yeah.
He makes everybody's confidence all around way better.
Yep.
He's going to sit there. He's going to make sure they get done what they need to get done to get the damn W on the board
You know what?
End of the day.
I have said and written that multiple times this week. I don't even think with a healthy Hartman as your starter, I don't even think Marshall and Stanford are possible this year. Like, I think that one guy alone, what he brings, makes it impossible for you to do that. Like, I just think it's that important, and what he brings is that important. I don't even think we could do that this year. So I don't know. Maybe I'm a dummy for saying that. I don't know.
Yeah, no, you're not a dummy for saying that. I mean, that's what's going to happen. That's what's got to happen. I mean, I'm so confident about that. But anyways, another subject here, the tailgate you're doing, we're going to try to make it over there. I think we should make it over there. We're going to kind of bounce back between your tailgate, which is on the other side of the stadium, and our normal tailgate, but we'll be up there, man.
Perfect. North lot, kind of kitty corner behind Touchdown Jesus. I wanted more space. I don't like that stadium lot. Too many people jammed in there, cramping my style. I'm bumping into people. I need a little space for my people. So we're going to the north lot where things are a little more spread out, easier to get to the bathroom and back, easier to get in and out. And so that's what we're going to do. I will post specific details that week. And also, I got a 20-foot flag. Anybody in the area is going to be able to know where we're at right away.
That sounds good. That sounds good. Yeah, I know kind of where you're at. I don't know if I've ever been over there in the north lot there, but I know where it's at. So we'll make our way over there first thing in the morning. And the only thing that I got to say is, when are they ever going to get AT&T, Verizon? I don't care what carrier it is. When are they ever going to get a freaking thing up there so we can get some goddamn signal?
Never.
Jesus Christ.
Never. I get all my game day text messages and voicemails when I'm on the toll road heading back to Illinois. All my messages come through. I don't know, man, but I have horrible service every time I'm in town. Nothing works. I can't receive calls. I can't pull the internet on my iPhone. I can't do anything. So I don't know, but apparently it's not a big deal to them.
Well, it should be. I mean, you know, I'm sure you're the same way. I got all kinds of friends. I promised all this big tailgate experience. I said, hey, get up there, shoot me a text, whatever, call me. I'll show you where we're at, and you can come over. And it never fails. Every freaking game, like you say, I get on my way home, and I got 50 freaking messages blowing up my phone like I just dogged everybody. No, I didn't dog you. It's not my fault. They can't get their shit together and get a goddamn signal on game day.
Dude, that happens to me a lot. And then I'm sitting there Sunday telling people, I'm sorry I missed you. Like, I feel like an idiot. And nobody probably believes me when I'm like, dude, I really didn't get your call. Anyway, so from now on, when I go, I stay in one spot, make everybody else come to me instead of me running everywhere. I'm having a tailgate. You want to see me? Come on over.
Right. That's what I kind of do anymore. I tell them, I take a screenshot of a map and I point a red circle where I'm at. Say, hey, come find me, because you're not going to be able to get a hold of me once you're up here, buddy.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know, man. It's going to be weird, but you know what? Notre Dame's playing tomorrow. I just kind of hate to see the home opener specifically not have a lot of buzz. But if Notre Dame ends up 2-0, I'll be in a good mood after the game. Whatever, man. It is what it is. Notre Dame's 2-0. Look what they were after 2 games last year. I'll be in a great mood. I'll take it.
Heck yeah, you and I both, buddy. Yep, we did 2-0, and then we got Central Michigan, and then Ohio State rolls into town, and we're hot, and hopefully, on our tip-top game. And I'm probably one of the more optimistic people as far as Notre Dame fans, and I've been Notre Dame fan since I was a little kid. And I honestly do think we have a chance to surprise some people, especially since we're kind of flying in under the radar this year, which I really like.
Yeah, I actually think that could work in Notre Dame's favor if they fly under the radar till Ohio State. And then that is the radar. There's no radar to fly under or over at that point. Ohio State is the national radar. And I like the idea. Notre Dame can build this ramp, that first third of this season of momentum right into that. I like that. I have no issue at all with Notre Dame coming in underneath the radar. I will say certain national entities came around a little bit when they saw Hartman. I did see national guys going, wait a second. If they're going to get this sort of quarterback play and the defense is kind of what we're used to from Notre Dame, it changes things. But overall, as the team, you're going to have to beat Ohio State to get that. So I'm not worrying about any of that national stuff till Ohio State. And then you're going to get what you deserve. You're either going to be top 5 or you ain't. So you're going to get what you deserve after that one.
Oh, absolutely. No doubt about it. I mean, Notre Dame controls their own destiny. So let's see what you got. Put your best on the field. Yep. And Freeman has, okay, so I don't know about you, but I can tell a big difference this year with Freeman's demeanor in practice, in training camp, and on the field on the sidelines. He seems to have a lot more control now and a lot more respect from the players than he's had last year.
Yeah, I think he learned a lot. I think year one was tough. He had a lot of rough circumstances, a lot of it beyond his control that took place, all fell on his plate at once. He gets paid a lot of money to deal with that stress and those problems. Rough first year and on and off the field in a lot of ways with a lot of stuff going on. I think Marcus is not a guy who's so full of his own ego he thinks he knows all the answers. I think Marcus is malleable enough. He was able to sit back and really analyze things that could change, his approach, his demeanor, his mentality, the messaging to the team, how he wants to structure things practically. I think he is a guy who's open to changing things and learning, and I think maybe we'll see some of that this year. He seemed a lot more confident and focused week one this year than any other time last year. Looked like a guy on a mission running those guys out of the tunnel against Navy. So week one, everything he did looked good. Coaches knew what they were doing. It was a tight operation. You won by a lot. I like it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you know what? One thing else, if you talk about, okay, we talked about Brian Kelly and Jack Swarbrick and the things Kelly wanted and Swarbrick wouldn't let him have. And, the way Freeman is, and Freeman's just a likable guy. And you could tell it, just watch the guy, listen to him. And if he goes to Swarbrick, I can guarantee Swarbrick's going to give him whatever he needs. I mean, you know what I mean, for the most part.
Yeah.
And Brian Kelly, I mean, good Lord. Kelly could, this is going to get me in trouble, but Kelly could kiss my ass for some of the stuff that he wants and some of the stuff he says. I mean, Brian Kelly does not know. He is not a people person.
No,
he's got
not.
a freaking. Yeah. He's got a freaking head that can't fit through a goddamn open doorway at gate 1 of the fucking stadium.
Yeah.
I mean, Jesus Christmas. Sorry, I let the F-bomb go there, but
here's what I've said.
Kelly drives me up a damn wall, Johnny.
I've said this forever, and I swear it's true. And I've had people that think this is crazy or not. I know that this is real. The coaches that win at Notre Dame, when I say win, there's only one thing I would be talking about at Notre Dame that matters. When I say the coaches that have won at Notre Dame, they all realized that their ego had to take second fiddle to Notre Dame's spirit and Notre Dame's values and Notre Dame's mission. No coach that's come in there with an ego thinking he's bigger than all that and puts his ego first has succeeded at Notre Dame. The only guys that do are the ones that are humble enough to know it ain't about their ego. It's about the mission they're on behalf of furthering Notre Dame. Those are the only people that have a chance. Kelly's ego was a big part of a lot of the reasons he never got over the hump at Notre Dame. And then he had a stalemate with the administration. They wanted things of him. He wanted things of them. And after a while, neither one of them budged. It was like a weird stalemate there where the university wanted to see more out of him. He wanted them to invest in him. They had a stalemate. So whatever. Marcus is as humble as the day is long, and I want that guy to be rewarded. We need more nice, genuine people like that in a field dominated by snakes that will do anything to win and have no morals. I want to see that guy be rewarded.
Absolutely, and I think he will be rewarded. No doubt about it. I mean, he's clearly you can tell already just from the things I've read and the things I've watched. Jack Swarbrick and Marcus Freeman easily have a bigger repertoire than what Brian Kelly did. There's no doubt about it. There's no disputing it.
Yeah, and it isn't because Jack's personality changed. You know what I mean? It has a lot. It's all Marcus. And so I want to see that guy succeed. Hey, man, thanks for the call. What's your prediction for tomorrow? Do you have one? A lot to a little, or can you give me a number?
I think Notre Dame's going to get out front early and often. I mean, I really do. I really think they're going to open it up, and it's going to be, I don't know. If I had to guess right now, first half, I don't know. I'm throwing a number out there, 35-0 or something. And, they may get a field goal up or something. But I really do think most of the Angeli and some second stringers and some younger guys, some of the people I want to see more of, like Jeremiah Love and the freshmen, I think they're going to be out in the second half, and I'm really looking forward to it. So we'll see what we got, man. I mean, I'm just going to go in tomorrow with not a lot of pressure, just relax, have, go up and tailgate, have some drinks with some friends, talk some football, and we'll probably just come back home and watch the game tomorrow.
Yeah. And so I don't know, man. It's going to be a new experience as long as Notre Dame wins and everybody stays healthy. Then we keep it moving and you get another win. And I don't know. It's just kind of a weird setup. But Notre Dame's playing at Notre Dame Stadium for the first time. I'm excited about that. Hey, man, thanks for the call. And then call me again before the tailgate, and then I'll see you at it.
Hey, I will do that, buddy. Hey, real quick, though. Pat was on right before I came on, and he was talking about eating some corned beef. If anybody loves corned beef and they want to go to O'Rourke's, the Irish bar right there on the corner on Eddy Street. Yeah, they got one hell of a burger, man. I think it's called like the Four Horsemen burger.
It is.
They throw some corned beef.
Yeah, it is. And I only know that.
Damn good.
I only know that because I was there a few weeks ago, and they have like the Four Horsemen burger, and they have like the Gipper and all that. Yeah, man. Oh, the problem is that place gets so busy on a game weekend. You got to get in there early and hold a spot. It gets so damn busy in there, right on the corner too. Hey, man, I hope to see you in a couple weeks. And maybe we'll have a relaxing game tomorrow. My hair will grow back in.
Hey, I hope so, man. Then you'll have a 3-head instead of a 4-head.
Yeah, that's what I'm going for. Thanks a lot, man. Have a good weekend. Enjoy the game.
All right, you too, buddy.
See ya. Oh, man. He's worked up. That's more energy than I've seen for anything else with this weird game tomorrow. $5 holler from Homer TD. John, I have an extra parking pass for the North lot and will gladly donate it to the Always Irish Tailgate cause if you're interested. I'm extremely interested. I need to give you your $5 back. Here's my thought on this, you guys. I really appreciate, if you really are, email me, alwaysirishnd@gmail.com, and we'll connect and do it digitally or whatever. Here's what I'm figuring. What we're going to do is, we get a little convoy. So when we pull off the toll road, everybody, I think it's like a Perkins, whatever, where Tiger's looking for another girlfriend. There's a Perkins or something right off the highway when you get off the toll road in town. We just meet there and then all pull in together into the whatever lot it is. So then we have all those spots together and they're all of our people. So we're already going to have like 4 or 5 cars. If we could get a couple more, we all are in a line and we all go in together. And then we have a big open spot that's all ours, just our people, the tailgate. That would be perfect. But I would definitely use it and be able to get an extra car in there. So please email me. I do appreciate that, Homer. Appreciate that. 937, talking to you puts me in heaven. What's going on?
Hey, John, how's it going?
Just a sleepy game in South Bend tomorrow, man. Not much going on.
Yeah. Well, I've been listening all week, and I felt obligated to call in and just kind of, I guess, defend Tobias Merriweather a little bit. I mean,
Please do.
fellow
Please
wide
do.
receiver.
He's getting, you know what, man? He is maybe the biggest lightning rod after the Navy game. That was very impressive and we're all happy with. And all week I have seen people online and on Twitter and everywhere and on other shows debating about what the deal is with him. What's your read on it?
Yeah. He dropped look, he dropped the easy out, the easy wide receiver screen, pass, whatever you want to call that.
Yep.
That's obvious. You can't allow that to be a trend, but you watch, if anybody watches his route, I mean, he fake blocks 2 guys and blows right past the safety. And if we're going to say that Sam Hartman throws everybody open, we're going to also say that Sam Hartman threw Tobias Merriweather into cover. And let's all be real too. That was pass interference. The ball hit the back shoulder of the defender, and he threw it just so late, and you can see his reaction and everything. Just pump the brakes a little bit, and also it's great that all these other receivers did really well, and Sam Hartman did well, and I think Sam Hartman in general just took the first thing that he saw that was open that he wanted to throw. I think he was just throwing the whatever progression he was at, he wanted to throw. He was open, he threw it, and that's great. It's just hey, we're doing what we're supposed to do. But when it comes to a game like Navy, the thing that I think should give everybody hope is that our players across the board are better than average, right? But when it comes to playing in Ohio State, a USC, and a Clemson, some of those guys then may not actually be open, and because you got to have your stars, then the progressions end up getting to the stars. And one thing I did notice too is that Merriweather wasn't really in, except for the one pass that to him in the end zone. He wasn't really in the game in the red zone, which also says to me that maybe they want him as a field stretcher versus a because if you look at a Jaden Greathouse, right? He seems like a wily receiver that he has quick moves and he can get open in a short field, and he seems elusive and he seems like he has some ability to get open, obviously when the quarterback scrambles, right? Because we saw that too. But Tobias Merriweather might bring a different skill set that allows him to get open, when there's more yardage to be had. And so, I look at all that and I say, let's just pump our brakes here a little bit. It wasn't like he had, a bunch of targets, it's just 2 targets and really Deion Colsey, he was the first option on, I think, all 3 of his completions. Right. And I think it was kind of the same with some of the other guys. They were the first option. They were open because we were playing Navy, so they are open. But when it comes to playing a legit defense, that's why I think that's why I think the talent can get open. We'll see who gets open. Maybe it's not him. I mean, I'm just saying let's pump the brakes. But maybe it isn't him. But maybe it is him. So look,
let me ask you this.
I'm telling you right now, we all know the running back room, right?
Yep.
And I'm telling you right now that the only one that I'm super confident against Ohio State is Audric Estime. I don't know about the freshman just yet against a legit defense. I'm not sure how much of a burst Jadarian Price really does have against a legit defense. I don't know about Payne as if you gave Payne 20 carries in a game, what's that going to equal against an Ohio State defense?
Yeah.
But I'm very confident in Audric Estime because Audric Estime is a legitimate star. Okay.
Needs to hold on to that ball, though. I need him to hold on to that damn ball.
Well, sure. But look, I know, but everybody was real happy that, he sat out. Look, I don't know how many people watching have been one of a better player on any team that they've ever been on. But I'm telling you this right now. There's a big drop-off. When you're playing a legitimate team, if Audric Estime fumbles the ball against USC, he better not be coming out of the game unless we're crushing him.
Yeah.
Because I don't want some other guy going in there and getting 2 yards.
What about this
Okay?
argument? Wait, what about this argument against Estime? The argument I've heard is maybe he should actually get less carries as the year goes on, because all those carries where he's going to get 7 or 8 yards, a guy like Love, if there's that's a house call because he's so much faster. If there's any daylight at all with that O-line, he's going to be gone, where Estime is going to get caught. I've heard that argument this week. What would your response to that be?
Okay.
They're just vastly different.
So,
they're built differently,
again,
though, you know?
Okay, so once again, let's go back to when we had a barn burner, right? Josh Adams. You gave Josh Adams a hole, and he was gone. He was just that guy. He was so fast. You give him once you got 7 yards, he's gone. It was crazy. But did he do anything against the legitimate teams? No.
Yeah.
Because the legitimate teams stuffed up the line of scrimmage.
Yeah. So you're going to need a bigger guy to fight through that.
Well, you got to have a guy who can break a tackle. And I don't know, and that's my only thing against Love, right? I think Love is the perfect epitome of a change of pace back. He will get bigger, and he will, but he might have moves that we don't know yet, right? We don't know. We've only seen him carry the ball a few times. He might have moves that I look at Kyron Williams, and I say that guy had moves to where he was able to sidestep people, and he was elusive. He had a skill set that was excellent in college football. He could run against anybody, okay? And maybe that is Love. We got to find that out. But I got to have somebody who can break a tackle, because our offensive line has always been talked up. And I'm telling you, even if they play a really good game, I just don't know if they're going to be able to create enough clean holes in a game where if you gave Jeremiah Love 20 carries, that he's actually going to break a few of those for some big ones.
Yeah.
And it's not going to stall out an offense.
Yeah, I do get.
I don't want.
Yeah.
Look.
Yeah.
Electric Estimate should be. I was a big San Antonio Spurs fan growing up, and I watched all these old, the old three: Tim Duncan, Tony Parker, Ginobili. They put them on, minute, limit. They rested them, right? They kept them healthy so that when meaningful time came, which was playoff basketball, they were ready to go. And that's how you need to treat, like, Sam Hartman. Hey, he's on like a pitcher snap count out there. We go out there, we're going to put up, like, you have a point total. You say, we're going to put up 35 points, and then he's coming out, And Audric Estime, he needs to be on kind of a snap count in these games that should easily be won. That's the goal. Like, we want to go out there, we want to score 35 points, and then you're just coming out. And if you I've just had coaches in my life that try to make an example of good players against bad teams, and honestly, in my experience, it just creates bad blood. Like, look, Audric Estime, obviously, he's not trying to fumble the ball, and it was a wet field. There was 3 fumbles in that game, So it wasn't like this some anomaly of like he just needs to learn a lesson. Who in their right mind says, he's out there just playing loose and doesn't care if he fumbles it, I get it. But on the other hand, I don't get it, because he better not come out against OSU. And that's my big game. I've lived around OSU fans my whole life. We got to beat OSU.
Yeah.
We got a chance. You got to put in your best players because their best players are in. So don't act too high and mighty when it comes to that stuff.
You know what? It may be situational, man. It was Navy. They knew they could do it. They feel good about
Navy, right?
They
And
feel
like
good
a
about
lot
the
of
other
coaches do that
backs.
stuff.
Listen, Estime's the number one guy. He's built so differently than the rest of them. Like, he's going to be the guy. But it is funny, though. If you didn't have good backups, he would have still been in there. But they feel really good about him, so they can afford to do that.
Sure.
And it seems like Estime, Freeman, it seemed like he reacted well to that and understood that you can't put the ball on the ground. But listen, of all my worries of how this year's going to go, the running backs aren't even on the beginning of the list. You know what I mean? Like, I feel pretty good about that. And you know what else? Aeneas Williams coming in after, he's going to be good too. Like, they are picking up Kendron Young. Notre Dame's got some talent coming in that is going to be really good at running back. And that makes me think you better figure out a way to keep Dylan McCullough around. You better keep McCullough around.
So I got a question for you. I was looking up our season stat leaders, just like individual season. I was surprised, at how few 1,000-yard rushers we have, 1,000-yard receivers we have, and then it was 3,000-yard passers, right? So I'm curious. Do you think that out of those three, a 3,000-yard passer, a 1,000-yard rusher, and a 1,000-yard receiver, do you think we're going to have all of them, or what do you think we're going to get?
I could see all of them except maybe the reception one, because I think that's still a work in progress. And Hartman's going to distribute to so many different guys that I could see. He's going to put up a lot of yards, but I think it's going to be to a bunch of different guys. That's kind of,
I agree with that.
That's kind of what I'm thinking on that. And then I know at least one of the backs is going to get over that number. They're going to get a lot of work. So that may be how I see that. He's going to disperse it around. And I don't know if there's a number one guy that it's not like you have a Michael Mayer out there where he's the guy you're going to him no matter what a certain amount of times. They don't really have that. 818, I'm coming to you next.
I think Jaden Thomas is probably the best chance, but I agree. If we don't make it on one, it's going to be the receiver.
Hey,
and I did want to say
Jaden Thomas is going to be Mr. Old Reliable for Sam Hartman. He is going to be the old. Dude, he looks beefy too. The guy looks like a tight end running around out there. Am I the only one that thinks Thomas looks big? He looks big and strong to me.
His feet work, he looks quicker with his footwork and stuff. He had the one catch on the sideline. I was like, wow, he chopped his feet and he was ready to make a move again. I just felt like I didn't really see that from him last year.
Yeah.
And but I do want to say, I don't think there's any OSU guys in here tonight, but I remember this because opening weekend of college football, we have our church picnic and stuff, and all the OSU fans back in 2014 were all panicking and freaking out because OSU had to play Navy that day, and it was 6-7 at halftime. So the only time they played Navy, and what I can remember, they had a dogfight. Now, granted, they won the Natty that year, but they had a dogfight. It was at OSU. And I remember watching it because everybody was freaking out, everybody was going to the beer tent, trying to check on the score because it was not easy. So it's not easy. And it was first game of the year. So you had all the time in the world to prepare for the option.
Yeah.
So I do want to push back on some of the, look, they had a great team. They won a national title, and they couldn't just put them away, So I was super impressed with Notre Dame and how sharp they were. That's just my takeaway.
Yeah,
I think we're going to see the same thing this week.
Dude,
I think we're hungry.
That was one of my biggest things. I went into the game noting that I was looking for, and that my report on it was awesome. Is how well put together they were for week one. It was a tight operation. You didn't have a bunch of mass confusion, miscommunication, false start penalties, 4 holdings because nobody's paying attention. We didn't have any of that. I was impressed with that. Operation seemed tight, and that is a credit to Marcus Freeman. Like, they went in there and they ran a tight ship. And for week one, I've been seeing some sloppy ball, sloppy decisions. I've been seeing some bad play. And that is a big sign to me. And people told me, oh, it's Navy, doesn't matter. It matters to me. And it does. It tells you how organized you are, and how it tells you the attention to detail they're paying early, like how seriously they took the camp messages. It gives me all that information. I couldn't have been happier with it last week. Now I want to see, how do you handle that success? Do you go in there tomorrow and add on it, or do you put some doubt and mess around? Take care of business. Just take care of business.
I think these guys are serious and are focused. And also, like, I'm a big Tommy Rees hater, but also it's the fact that we have coaches on there who probably don't feel entitled. Like, I kind of feel like Tommy Rees might have felt a little entitled to, like, his position because he's just a Notre Dame guy.
Oh, he did.
I feel like
no. Hey, wait.
I feel like Gerard Parker is the guy.
You're 100%
who wants to take
correct.
Advantage.
You're 100%
Gerard
correct.
Parker, I just feel like he wants to take advantage. You watch him at the press conferences and stuff. The guy looks super intense, like hyper focused. So, like, maybe he's just like that, but, like, he seems like a guy who wants to take advantage of the opportunity that is put in front of him. And when you're a young guy and you have a lot of success, sometimes you just don't have that same kind of eye of the tiger kind of vibe, that maybe other guys do have.
Yeah.
A little bit later.
Listen, I was told Tommy was mad. He thought he should have at least been interviewed for the head coaching job. And that just wasn't.
That's a joke.
I'm just telling you what I was told from multiple people, that he kind of thought that, where's my interview? Like, not expecting to get it, but he thought his Notre Dame, the time in, like a union, your time in, and he thought that he should have.
Yeah, that's not.
That he should have had that. And then I felt like he thought it was Coach A and Coach A2 or whatever, and he was in charge of the offense and told Freeman, I don't need a quarterback coach, and I know what I'm doing, and we don't need to go to the portal. And I think Freeman defaulted to Rees on some of those things, and then it ended up burning him. And then now Freeman knows, I got to do what I want to do, even if one of my guys isn't on board or doesn't want it.
It did burn him because I think he gave them too much slack, too much leash, so to speak. And because you look at that team at the beginning of the year, it looked really crappy on offense. So
yeah. So I don't know, man. Right. It's going to be interesting. We covered a lot of ground here. Let's get a big comfortable win with everybody staying healthy, and then we get real serious week 3. And NC State should be the first real physical test for the Irish. And I'm really excited to get to that. But I'm hoping we can relax and watch a bunch of highlights tomorrow. I'm down with that, man. A relaxing day in South Bend where John's hair doesn't fall out. Like, I'm down for it. So that's what I want to see. Hey, we're going live right after the game. Give me a call, whether it's good or bad. You're happy, mad, or glad. Call me.
All right, man. Catch you later.
Have a good one. Thanks for catching up. Telling you, man, people got a lot to say when it comes to Notre Dame. It's amazing. Some people you could just let them go. Rodney, I got you, 818. Let me get this super chat. Oh, man. I already did that one. I'm serious, Homer. I would take you up on that, and I appreciate it. What is this? I would love to see a 30-28 game to remind the team not to drink its own Kool-Aid. We are only 1 year from the Marshall game. I'm struggling with this. My hair's falling out just from reading this. I would love to see a 30-28 game to remind the team not to drink its own Kool-Aid. Well, that's fine against Ohio State. I don't know if we're talking about tomorrow. That can't be tomorrow. If the talent differential tomorrow ends up in 30-28, 7 of Notre Dame starters are dead. Their legs fell off. They got decapitated. And we turned the ball over 15 times. Like, that's the only way. Like, that can't be tomorrow. That can't be tomorrow. And it can't be Central. You can't be. It can't be. Like, I'm okay with one of those games to remind you what it's got to be against Ohio State to remind you that, not tomorrow. Tomorrow's got to be blowout Central USA. I don't want to. You guys know how I am. I'm going to be sitting there tonight in my little Irish bed, tossing and turning, with my mind going over like Marshall nightmares. I'm going to wake up and have Stanford nightmares, or most of Toledo, or most of Ball State. Like I South Florida, I'm going to wake right out of bed, South Florida style. Even when things should be easy, they're not easy in my brain. Take care of business early and often. Early and often. I think we're going to see it too. I think we're going to see it. What else do we got here? Look at that. $20 hour from Nick Dean. Nicky Dean, it's always good to be heard and seen. By the way, thank you guys. Emailing me back with some other suggestions for my social media stuff. And one of them I didn't have a good answer to. And Nick, I don't think your wife's happy. She tried to help me and I said, I'm so dumb. I messed up something simple and there's no way we're going to do it. And I gave up trying. God bless her though. She tried to help me. I just couldn't take it. Oh man. Yeah. Look at this. John's organizing a riot in the Perkins parking lot. Yeah, I've never even eaten in a Perkins. Is that like a Denny's or what? I don't think they have Perkins like in the Chicago area. I don't remember growing up, let's go to Perkins. I don't know, but it's a good spot right off the toll road where we meet up, get in a line, boom, 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 boom. We got all our cars, Party Central. I'm not even calling that game Central Michigan. I've been calling it the Always Irish Tailgate game. I like the sound of that a lot better. I like the sound of that. Oh, look at that $2 holler. Speaking of which, good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Rodney, can I ask you a question?
Yes.
This game feels weird to me. I'm out of sorts, man. It does not feel like any Notre Dame game the day before, the week before prep I've ever had doing the show or as a fan. It's like off the grid. It's like off the grid, and I don't think people know how to deal with it. They're just kind of going to wait and see. Is there anything to this, or what do you expect tomorrow, man?
Well, this is like last year. We got off the Ohio State road game. We come home and we played Marshall, and we know what happened. That ain't gonna happen tomorrow. Why? Because we have dun Benny Smooth.
He's good, man.
John,
he's good.
Nothing to worry about, man. I'm telling you, there's something about this guy. I get feelings for John. You're like me. I mean, we get feelings for things, like you can kind of sense something coming, right?
Yep. And with that, dude.
By the way, that 30-28 score, that is now my prediction for the Ohio State Buckeyes game.
Yeah, there you go. I like that.
30-28 Notre Dame. Actually, I really mean that. Like,
I like that.
I look at that as sort of like a premonition that it was meant to be, and he said it, and he didn't specify the team, but you know what? That is my prediction for September 23rd at 7 p.m., South Bend Eastern Standard Time, Notre Dame Stadium.
Yeah.
When that game ends, when that clock ticks to 0, it will be 30-28. Having said that.
Oh, man, I like that. Wait. Don't get out of yourself. Let me wrap this point up.
Okay.
You are right.
Sorry, sweetheart.
I get feelings.
Sorry, sweetheart.
I get feelings. I get Notre Dame vibes. Like, I can feel stuff sometimes, dude. I know when a vibe isn't right. I know when something good's I have vibes, and it's not like definite, but there's certain things that I just Notre Dame things I feel that I either like or I don't like. Very rarely is my gut intuition off on that kind of thing. And tomorrow, I just feel like it's off the grid. It's not even on like the range of worry or overconfidence or like whatever. It's off the radar underneath that, and I don't know how to process it in my brain.
I don't think it's going to be I really don't believe this is going to, this isn't going to be Appalachian State, against Michigan. This isn't going to be that. Okay. So you can rest easy, John. It won't be. But I also don't think this is going to be a game we're going to really get it. Look, if they 2 games in a row come out and destroy the teams they're supposed to beat, I'm going to be very surprised, John. That doesn't happen that often. Even in Lou Holtz years, they could do that, to teams that they were supposed to do it to, but they wouldn't necessarily do it 2 or 3 weeks in a row. They would still not struggle per se, but if they did it 1 week, the next week they might, there's some more things to criticize. And I think Holtz fed on that. Okay, he fed on the fact that I don't want them necessarily being full of themselves and being, I'm all these things are going off in my brain right now, man. But I think back to what you said about Marcus Freeman, or what was talked about Marcus Freeman. I definitely see, and it's not fake. It's not fake.
Yeah,
I see a difference in his demeanor this year. John, this is a great head coach on the cusp of legendary.
Now, I want you to now wait. I want you to explain it. Explain it. I want you to explain to me those differences you've seen. That's what I want to hear from you. Is what those
first of all,
differences are.
Last year it felt like, John, he was okay. How do I have to act as a head coach? He has a strong sense of himself. There's no question of that. But this is a guy who was put as the head coach, his first head coaching job, the University of Notre Dame. That's only ever happened to Bob Davie. That was the only other guy that happened to at Notre Dame. So the first head coaching job was the Notre Dame, ascending from a defensive coordinator. But I never felt like, I had high hopes for Davie. I was hoping for the best. I thought he could be a good coach. I don't think he was a terrible coach. But I think Marcus Freeman legitimately has all the intangibles of what I see in a truly legendary coach. Now, here's the thing, John. I'm going to say this right now. My problem with that is I think it's going to happen. I think Marcus Freeman is going to become a fantastic football coach. But will his best days be beyond Notre Dame? That's what worries me. Will it be he gets really good, gets right to the cusp of the national championship, maybe let's say next year, let's say gets in the playoffs this year, let's say maybe he even finishes 5th or 6th in the country, gets their first New Year's Six bowl, and let's say that happens. Next year, maybe he gets us in the playoffs, maybe we make a nice run, maybe we get to a title game, we lose by a field goal. Is he off to Ohio State or an NFL team after that, and then becomes that great coach we're thinking? I know I'm getting way ahead of myself here.
All right, wait. Let's play this out. Wait, walk this out.
Okay.
Because here was my thought. One of my thoughts would be if things... he has to have some level of success for other schools to want to, approach him and do all that.
Some level of success is winning the Notre Dame's first New Year's Six game in 30-odd years.
I think I need more than that.
Out there,
I think I need a little more than that. I think I need a little more than that. Maybe multiple.
That's why I said, let's say next year he gets into the playoff in a 12-team playoff. Let's say he wins 3 rounds and gets to the national title game, but loses by, 6 points to,
all right.
Georgia, Alabama, whatever.
Here's the answer to that.
And then there's 2 years in a row where he did something great.
Here's the answer to that. The answer is,
okay,
I was figuring if he left for Ohio State, if they get sick of Ryan Day or whatever, I figured it would be Freeman is getting frustrated at Notre Dame would be a part of the equation. Mm-hmm. I do not think that would happen if things are going really great at Notre Dame, like kind of okay. And then like Freeman has frustration.
And John, by the way, I want to make it very clear. I'm not necessarily predicting that. Predicting that. I'm saying that's one half of what could happen. I could see it go the other way where his loyalty to Notre Dame is beyond what we even can imagine. Maybe he's already...
But what would be the impetus for him to leave if he's at Notre Dame and it's going really well and you're knocking on the door and you're in the
exactly
playoff?
what it is,
like
John.
at that
It's
point, what does he need to leave for? Because you're competitive at Notre Dame at an elite level. There's no reason to leave then. If he couldn't get any recruits.
It won't be Freeman. It won't be Freeman. It will be because the administration at Notre Dame let us down once again. It will be because of that. It will not be because of Freeman. It will be, we'll all collectively agree, Freeman, as much as we hate to say it, probably made the right decision. But you know what? I'm going to give Notre Dame hope that, just like we were saying along, that you know, Marcus is he's got that special love for Notre Dame. I do believe that. I believe that there is something within him that has a special love for Notre Dame. I'm going to say that right now. What we're hoping is that the administration has that special love for Marcus Freeman. And if those two things mesh, then yes, I think this thing could go on a very long time. I'm definitely considering that as a very possibility. As I would say more than 50%, by the way. I would give that a more than 50% chance that scenario is true. I'm just really worried that, because this is the thing, John, when I'm seeing in Freeman, I know it's so early, and if I have to eat crow, I'm gonna hate myself, and so are you. And I'll hate myself with you. But
wait,
you know
I'm going to hate myself? Am I going to hate myself too? Or am I going to hate you while you're hating yourself? Those are two different things, buddy.
Well, don't you get that feeling about him, man? Don't you just think this is like a great coach this is going to be, I can't imagine him failing, John. There's just something about him. There's something innate. Yeah, and it's gotten so much better this year already. And I know it's one game. Game. I mean, I'm absolutely throwing that caveat out there that maybe I could be completely wrong. And it's simply for the universe to make me look bad for no other reason. But I just feel it, John. I feel like this guy is on the cusp of something great. I really do. Yeah. I believe in him. And John, even if it's kind of, and I don't believe it's artificial, but let's say it's somewhat artificial, he's just really good at permeating that. That has an effect on people. And you saw it last week, man. It goes from him to the quarterback. Because Hartman, dude, I'm telling you, smooth as that man's middle name. We're going to be saying that a lot this year. His best quality, man. Yep. That has permeated through the team, through the entire team. It's making Al Golden look better. And I'm not taking anything away from Al Golden. I'm saying something has worked. I saw an operation last week. I will be so disappointed if I'm wrong. Because I know there's a feeling I got right now that if I'm let down and if you're let down, we're going to feel really bad. Yeah. Really bad, man. But I just don't think it's going to happen. I don't necessarily know if this guy's going to get us to the national title, but he's going to get us close. Yeah. He's going to get us real close, John. I really believe that.
You can already see the team genetics changing.
He's a great coach, John. He's a great coach waiting to happen. Go ahead, buddy. I just had to say that. He is.
I feel the team changing already. The DNA's changing. The roster's changing. They're getting more athletic. They're getting deeper. They're getting quicker. I'm seeing a lot of these changes that needed to happen. And I really like that. I think this staff's doing a really good job too. And the guy just gets Notre Dame. It's so true, man. You either get it or you don't, and you don't just develop it. And he has it. He has that reverence for Notre Dame, that respect for Notre Dame, understanding it's more about Notre Dame than him and his ego. And I love a guy like that, and I want to see him succeed, and we'll see how it goes.
And I want to push way back against Pat on what he said about the game tomorrow.
Go for it.
Again, man, I disagree with him so much. Because he's looking at it the wrong way. I understand where he's coming from. I do. I get it. And I think I could kind of sense in you kind of wavering a little bit, where you can see the merit of it. You can see where Pat's coming from. This is the thing, man. We don't understand. We look at things as fans on the outside looking in without any context, and we make this opinion. This has so much more to do with Eddie George and Marcus Freeman than it does anything else.
Yeah.
I guarantee it. If Eddie George had been at Central Michigan, let's say Central Michigan wasn't scheduled, that game would have been scheduled. It has more to do with his respect of Eddie George, and Eddie George's respect for Marcus Freeman, and Marcus Freeman trying to help put that. It's not about an easy win. Come on. Because like you said, we could have scheduled a Miami of Ohio or pick a team that are in. It had nothing to do with that, man. And it's the social relevancy of the whole thing. I just think that this was being a little bit too, for those that say the problem is the technicality of the whole thing, right? It's like we're playing an FCS opponent. Oh, we can't do that. Oh, blah, blah, blah. Now USC has that one thing over us that we didn't. Take that out of it, forget the absolute boundary of it all, and just look at the nuances within it. That's why this game's being. It's not to give Notre Dame an easy win. Come on. We haven't done that. We wouldn't do that. That's not why that game was scheduled, man. It was scheduled for the relevancy of the situation.
Yeah.
And if it gives you a bad taste in your mouth, get over yourself, man. Because you know what? Because you can look at this a different way, too, from a national media standpoint. Like, who is Notre Dame? Not to, like, if that got out, that, like, let's say the game was presented and we turned it down, you know how bad that would make us look, John? You know how many people be saying, oh, who do you think you are, Notre Dame? You can't win or lose in this situation. They did it for the right reasons. I disagree with Pat 100%. But I don't think it's because – I just think he's not looking at it that way.
Yeah.
I believe Pat's the kind of guy that will look at something, okay, if he sees – I'm just saying, I don't think he's looking at that fact. I think he does. You can see where I'm coming from on that.
Yeah, and here's the more
that's all I'm saying.
The more I think about this, here's what I think. This is the type of game you win by a lot, and then nobody talks about it again, and it's not a big deal ever again.
Right.
I think the announcement of it kind of messed with some people, myself included. And then the build-up. Once it happens, it's going to be just like any other no-name game on the schedule. Notre Dame wins by a lot. And when we're talking about Clemson or whatever that week, we're not going to even look back at it. But things like this are going to be a lightning rod for Notre Dame. Just like getting a Jumbotron was a lightning rod. Just like getting fake turf was a lightning rod. Just like the original Shell edition was a lightning rod. Just like covering up Touchdown Jesus with it was a lightning rod. Like, it's Notre Dame, baby. Everything's a big deal.
Well, and you got to look at it from, glass half full, glass half empty. It's like, okay, from a Notre Dame standpoint, you can look at it that way. And I get that. I do understand where that sentiment's coming from, but we have to look at the other side of it. We aren't on the inside, man. This has so much more to do with Eddie George and Marcus Freeman than it does the two schools and the divisions they're in. Had Eddie George been coaching at Tennessee, this game would have been scheduled. Okay? But it's like, oh, we can also help prop up this school and give them some recognition. And then, there's a part of it. Don't get me wrong. There's a part of it like it's probably an easy win, and it's the second game after a long trip to Ireland. But you know what? Who cares, man? For the kids at Tennessee State, this is a big deal. They don't probably have, deep down, I don't know. There are probably a few players on that team that actually think they have a shot, and God bless them. And if they give us a little bit of a game tomorrow and push us a little bit, that ain't a bad thing either. Let's say we end up winning like a game that we have no business being this close. Let's say it's like 34-17. I'm not predicting that. But I'm saying, let's just say it is. That does more for Tennessee State than that does hurt Notre Dame, because you're going to forget about that in 1 week if Notre Dame blows out NC State. You see what I'm saying, John? No one's going to care. They're going to bitch about it for a few days. If it's a close, let's even say it's a closer game than that, God forbid. Yeah. Let's say there was some kind of weird, I don't know if you saw it, John, there's some weird, it was on the blue and gold thing where it said Notre Dame 34, Tennessee State 24. It was weird. I don't know where that came from, but it was some kind of prediction that they made. I didn't really get what that was all about, but let's just say it was like, that close. That doesn't necessarily, people are going to say, oh, Notre Dame should blow them up by 50, but guess what? If they beat Ohio State, no one's going to care. They still won the game. They didn't lose. You know what I mean? So it's more for really the propping up of that program and the relationship between Eddie George and Marcus Freeman. That's what this game's about. Yeah. I just wanted to keep our perspective on that. It has nothing to do with them being an FCS team. It's got nothing to do with that, man. It's Eddie George. By the way, and Eddie George, who made us look sick in 1995 at the Horseshoe, running for over, I think it was, didn't he run for over 300 yards that day? Was it like 303 or something like that?
All I remember is
maybe it was 200.
10-year-old me and my dad was losing his mind. That's all I remember about it.
We lost by 19.
I remember being a little kid and my dad absolutely
35-16.
He was losing his mind and then he threw us all in the car and was like, we're going to do something. I'm not whatever. Let's get out of here. And I just remember it being a rough afternoon.
I believe it was a
Kennedys.
3-point game at halftime, if I'm not mistaken. And then Ohio State, they did 19 points. And the next year they beat us by another 2 touchdowns or 16 points, I believe,
back
at Notre Dame Stadium.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, John. This has been a beatdown we've been receiving for. Okay, I'm done. But the game happened because of the Eddie George Marcus Freeman relationship. That's what that's about.
Yeah, I think you're probably right.
And for what it does for them as a program and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
and
now wait. I mean, all of that's true. And the financial benefit for underfunded HBCU, all that, the relationship with them, the profile to give those kids a chance on that stage and all that, yes. But you do have to agree with Pat. There's a business angle to this. And you and I both know in society, NBC and Notre Dame loved the opportunity to magnify this situation tomorrow as a business thing.
That's my point. You're not doing it for an easy win. That's what I'm saying. It has nothing to do with the easy win. They could have got that against the Ball State or something, unless they screwed that game
up.
Right,
but nobody would have been mad about that because it wouldn't have been lower than the FBS level. We played Ball State. There wasn't the outrage.
Dude, is that everybody's getting all their everybody's getting all worked up because of an FCS opponent. And it's like, no, man. It could have scheduled. This could have just as easily been a team that's actually in the FBS. Okay, it's just it would have been a lower team, of course, but it's just everybody's so upset because oh my God, it's actually an FCS team. Again, wasn't Appalachian State an FCS team too? Am I incorrect on that?
I believe so. Yeah, I think so.
Right, and then it became one after an FBS team. I think the year or two after that, because of how great the program, had ascended within the ranks. Anyway, but you're right, John. That's exactly right. It is a business decision, but that's just it. It does have value. This is, in a way, this game has more. I know we're saying how sleepy it is in South Bend. For us, maybe, but there's a little bit more national media attention on it because of the 2 head coaches, because it's because of the social relevancy of the whole thing, because of the relationship between Eddie George and Marcus, than an otherwise Notre Dame against Eastern Michigan or something would have had. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's not. They're not just trying to get. Again, I understand I get what people are saying. I get that they don't want USC to have that one thing over us. We ain't worried about USC, John.
Dude, everybody will get over it.
USC.
I think everybody's going to get over
USC
it. And the
reality done so many
is,
shady things in the past.
Here's the other reality.
Gotten away with. Are we really going to have our are we really going to be that upset because USC has this one thing left, which will probably be over for them in a couple of years as well? I mean, who cares?
The practicality.
It's not that big of a deal. No one's going to remember in 2 weeks, John.
You're right.
No one's going to remember in 2 weeks.
Yeah, you're right. And the only other argument you could use would be if you're worried that game is going to kill the strength of schedule and keep us out of something. With Notre Dame's schedule this year, that is not a concern. It ain't a concern. I do not have that concern.
10 teams,
it's not a concern.
And by the way, a lot of teams that could be top 25 teams this year, by the way.
Yeah.
3 top 10 teams we play, and then the rest, that's the strange part. Is we have 3 top 10s and no one else in top 25. That doesn't mean it's going to end up that way, though, John. There's a lot of teams like Louisville, Duke, NC State, maybe even.
So what's your prediction for tomorrow then? What's your prediction tomorrow after all this
I think
preamble?
It's going to be 48-10.
There you go. And it's just all this consternation, and it's just a clean little win like that. Everybody's healthy. We keep it moving. What are you going to do for the game? You got to work.
It's going to be a little bit less impressive than Navy because of the opponent. It's going to be a little less impressive than Navy. But you know what? So, again, because we came out so well in the first game, John, an A effort. I said that all, not an A+, not an A-, an A effort. It's not going to be as good this week, but I think it's going to be a great game for next week against NC State. It's a great tune-up game, and it's going to be ho-hum and whatever. But you know what? It's the first home game. You got a lot. I'm telling you, man, I don't know if it's going to happen this week or next week. I keep thinking like Tyree's going to emerge at some point, man.
Yeah.
Chris Tyree is the X factor of this year's team. I really believe that. I still say that. Merriweather will be fine. Greathouse and Flores are going to be great freshmen. Jaden Thomas is that, veteran presence. I'm just talking about the receivers at this point, but Tyree's going to shine. Estime, look for the backups to get really good in the next few weeks. The backup running backs, John. Look for them to get really, really good in the coming weeks. You're going to see some players. You might see Payne flash in this game. You might see Jeremiah Love next game. You might see Jadarian Price flashing at Ohio State. Those guys are. I don't know if there's any better depth at running back.
We'll
in college
see
football.
it. You know what I did, man? I wrote down all of the bullet points you've gone over tonight, and we're gonna check back and see how many of them come to reality. I'm just
John,
kidding.
I can't wait to see you in a couple weeks, man. It's gonna be great.
Oh,
can't wait to call in tomorrow night.
Beautiful,
and
man.
Talk about the rest of the show.
Enjoy the game. Thanks for coming back at Pat. I like that. Have a good one, man. Call me on the post
I like
game.
his point, though, dude. I
know.
Pat.
I
Pat
get
makes
it.
great points. It's not that there's nothing wrong. It's just because he's so emphatic, it causes me to be just as emphatic
the other
when
way.
I find little things that I have,
Yeah.
Anyway.
Nope, you get it. Yep, that makes
God
sense.
bless you.
Hey, enjoy the weekend, man. Enjoy this relaxing ball game, will you?
I will. All right, John. See you tomorrow night.
Yeah, I'll see you in a couple weeks in person. Hey, Kent said he tried to go put a bet on Notre Dame. Some places don't even have a line on this game. I'm assuming just because of the disparity. Kent said he was looking and couldn't find it. There's some places that don't even have a line. So I don't know what the deal is with that. Andrew, what's going on?
Hey, what's going on, John? How are you?
Hey, man. I feel like it's been a little while. Where the hell have you been, man? You took a little. Where have you been?
Dude, I think I called in last week before Navy.
Did you? I just felt like, I don't know, man. I feel like I've been seeing your name, but I haven't talked to you as much. Maybe it's all a blur since the season's gotten started. I don't know. What's on your mind, man? What do you make of tomorrow? What's the right way to view this game if you're us?
Well, I mean, come on. Let's just, dude, I love your audience. Your audience is great. I always interact with them and the chat and stuff like
that. There's a big but
but,
coming here, isn't there? That nobody says some shit like that unless there's a big but coming.
There is, and I think that you have to agree with me here, man, because like you've been a Notre Dame fan for a long time, and same with me. Like these games really don't matter. Like they don't. Like, and so like I think that this game, because we're playing a 1AA team or, and it's like, I was talking to somebody the other day. I'm like, remember when Notre Dame beat New Mexico? I think it was New Mexico. It was Bob Davies' team.
Yeah.
By like 50 points. Like, so that exact New Mexico team would beat the team that we're playing on Saturday by 30 points.
Yeah.
So it's like,
there's a big gap. There's a big gap.
Like it's no insult to freaking Tennessee State, but that's literally, if I promise you, if like that same exact New Mexico team was playing Tennessee State in a game, they would be favored by like 28 points or something like that, and you'd have to pick whether or not like they would win or not, or by 28. So it really doesn't matter. Why I'm calling in is that here's some positives. Like, I really want to talk about positives. Have you seen some of the other teams playing, like, and they're like committing penalties? They're just like all unorganized and stuff like that. It's like one of the positives I'm going to get out of these two really easy games that we've set up for ourselves, unless we come out and commit penalties and stuff tomorrow and stuff like that. Like, I think Marcus Freeman has gotten a hold on the fact that he's the head coach. We're going to organize this stuff. Like, stop with the rhetoric. It's like, it's like actually execution is like really, truly important.
stop talking about national championships. It's like game by game. Like I sort of respect him on that level, and like let's stick to that. But like our season really doesn't start until NC State next week, and so it's all about that. It really is all about that. And so like I don't think that we can really have a handle on how good Notre Dame is until we play a legitimate team, and that's going to happen next week. And so I just want everybody pump the brakes a little bit. Great first game. We did exactly what we were supposed to do. And honestly, I was very critical of Merriweather, initially, and then I'm thinking Hartman did underthrow him on that touchdown. If that guy catches a touchdown, we're not talking about all the stuff that we about him being weak. So I'm just like, it's just all about getting things right. But I'm just calling in to say, I don't think that our season really actually starts until in Raleigh at 12 o'clock Eastern.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's when our season really starts. It's like, and like, I don't even think they're even that great of a team. I watched them against UConn. It was a really kind of a pedestrian type win on their part, but who cares? Like, I think that they have a little bit of talent, and like, then we're going to figure it out. Like, and so my whole thing is that Marcus Freeman was like very, very green at being a head football coach last year. Now he's gotten a lot under his belt. There's been a lot of things that's happened.
Oh yeah.
And
that guy's had a full year and a half, man. He's had a lot to deal with on the field and off of it, in recruiting, every different way, personnel, coaching, transfers. He's had it all, man. Injuries at the worst places he has had a learning experience since being that guy.
Yeah. How about the fact that, did you watch the Florida Utah game?
I did indeed.
Ludwig freaking coached a great game in that. So it's just like, it makes you think. It's like he went through a lot of stuff. And so like the season truly does not start until that NC State game. But I will say that I do think there's some growth going on here, but I just think everybody's just getting way too in front of their gears here, man. It's just like, you know what? That was a nice win against Navy. It was a nice win. We did everything. You cannot ask for more.
Yep.
I mean, other than Hartman hitting Merriweather and Stride, like you can't ask for much more.
Yeah,
like,
hey, Andrew,
we're gonna get nothing. We're gonna get nothing out of the game tomorrow. Like, we should kick the crap out of that team, and then the real season starts on week 2.
But you're the kind of guy. You're the kind of guy that would think of this, and so I want to ask you. I started the show by saying I need Notre Dame to build a game within this game, meaning that I need them to have objectives beyond just winning the game that they need to accomplish. What would be some of those things on your list that you would want to see them both improve on from last week or get better at before the next game or whatever? What would be on your short list of things in a talent mismatch game like this that you want to see them work on, then get the starters out? What's on your list?
Yeah, I got a couple. Number one, you got to establish what is who is Jalen Sneed? Like, who is he? Like, I mean, like, I get that we have this really great linebacker core, and I'm the biggest supporter of JD Bertrand. Like, but like, I think that they're like, from what I read, and I do Blue and Gold. That's the website that I go to see the stuff. And it's like, they're gonna rush him off the corner. It's like, and I'm like, I watched him last year, and I remember he really was ineffective in the South Carolina bowl game coming off the corner. Where he was actually really good was when they played him against Boston College, and he just like had a nose for a football. Like, he played like 10 plays and made like 5 tackles. Like, he's actually more of like a JD Bertrand than he is like coming off the corner. So I would be interested to see, like, where are they going to play JD Bertrand? Because they're going to immediately go to replacement players like as soon as they get a big lead. So number one, because like he's a 5-star guy. It's like, how do you not, like, we need to figure out what this 5-star dude is all about if he's really a 5-star guy. Number two, like, Angeli. Let's see him throw a pass or not. It's like if he can't throw a pass, stop wasting time. Let's put in Minchie as the backup, because it's like for his own sake. Because like the Baylor coach, who Dave Aranda, who was thought of as potentially a Notre Dame coach when Brian Kelly left, he got a lot of kudos because he told a quarterback, he's just like, you know what, I'm picking the starter after the spring, and like you should do your own thing. And like they said, hey, you know what, you're a good coach for doing that, because he was allowed to go pick some other school rather than being strung along. And it's like, I feel that same way about Angeli. It's like, does this guy have anything or not? Because if not, be honest with the poor guy. Like we've got Minchie, and we've got Carr coming behind, and then I really truly think that we're going to bring in a transfer. So let's find out. Does Angeli have anything? Like, I think that's the only thing that we're going to figure out. And I would bring him in early in the game.
That's what I was going to say. It bothers me when you hear these coaches speak about getting guys reps and experience, and we want to get guys in. And then they do it, and then the backup quarterback like runs out the clock. They don't let him throw, and he's handing the ball off. Like, bro, no, I want to see him work in the offense when you're still trying to do stuff. Like, I want to see what that looks like. Not when you're in like slow it all down, don't even try anymore mode.
I agree. I honestly, I think that unless Notre Dame is really, and that's another thing, is that we were worried about the fact that last year we were sleepwalking through games like Stanford and Marshall and Cal and Navy and stuff like that. It's like, let's pretend for a second we aren't sleepwalking through games. We're kicking butt. Then, like, you know what I mean? Take the opportunity to put Angeli into the opportunity where it's not just like complete B-town status. It's like we're not up like 40 points, and so you're a jerk if you're still throwing on him. Like, put him in the game when you're still up like 21, 28, nothing, something like that. Because like I would reiterate the fact that Tennessee State is a very average HBCU team, and HBCU teams are like, when you compare them to FCS teams, like other than Jackson State and like maybe one other team, like they're very average. So like we should just beat the living hell out of them. Like, you know, but the real reason I was calling in was I wanted to ask you about Urban Meyer's discussions on Notre Dame quarterbacks. Like, did you hear about what he had to say?
Yeah, I did, actually.
And I would just love.
I did.
Yeah, I would love to hear. Like, maybe you can explain to the audience what he had to say. Or
yeah,
I
think
love for you to. Yeah.
Urban said, you know, wasn't it something like, it's great to see what, you know, a Notre Dame looked like with Sam Hartman with the quarterback like this. And then Urban said, I just don't understand why Notre Dame hasn't had more better quarterbacks than they've had. And he something's wrong here that Notre Dame doesn't seem to have more good quarterbacks because it's Notre Dame. And I agreed with that. Whether it be the recruiting and or the development, or the recruiting and the development, whatever it was, there's no denying the last regime struggled in that area. And I hope it's over. But I don't disagree with what he said. You know how many times I've yelled in this basement of, I don't understand how the University of Notre Dame can't have a good quarterback? I've been yelling that for years.
You know, I agree. Like, you know, it's like funny because did you actually listen to Urban Meyer at all or not? Because there's something about his delivery, like, is very negative. Like, I wanted to punch him, but I'm like, after I actually heard what he had to say, it's like he is kind of right about it. Like, but just like,
he's got, you know, weird affect. He's got weird affect, not effect, like affect sometimes. He's a little quirky with that and whatever. Maybe he's back on the pills again. I don't know. I mean, I'm not wishing that. I'm not wishing that on the guy, but maybe that explains some of his weirdness because he said he had a pill problem. So I don't know.
You know what? You know what's so funny about Urban Meyer though? So why I am a Notre Dame fan, and like I'm Irish Catholic, but none of my family really went to Notre Dame until until recently. But why I like Urban Meyer was did you remember he was the wide receivers coach for a long time or not in a long time, but he was the wide receivers coach for Bob Davies. Did you realize that?
Yeah, I knew that.
And so I met him, and why I am a lifelong Notre Dame fan is I was my best friend's Make-A-Wish. He had cancer in high school, and was to go to a Notre Dame game. And so Urban Meyer was like the lead guy. Like he came out, like he was like the most affable person you would ever meet. And so it's like sort of crazy to see Urban Meyer, like, because nowadays Urban Meyer is really just so negative. Like, and so like, it's just crazy.
Yeah. And you know what else,
Urban
man?
Meyer is. Like,
you know what else?
Yeah.
I think if he took a different path, or if Notre Dame let him do the things he wanted in order to come here or whatever, I think his arc would have been way different. He would have still maybe been like a good Catholic boy with those values and could have won at Notre Dame and done all. I really think it would have helped him not go down the path he has and kind of strayed from the straight and narrow on and off the field. I just feel like it all could have went different is what I'm saying.
I agree.
So
I'll end on this because I know you got a lot. I know you got a lot of callers, but like, dude, a lot of Ohio State people are trying to come into your chat, trying to come strong against you and all the Notre Dame fans in your chat. And I have to say that it's really ridiculous. I'm from San Diego, John. I live in Chicago now, but I'm from San Diego. So I follow San Diego State sports. Did you know that San Diego State's right tackle last year, who committed the most penalties out of any player in FBS football, is going to be Ohio State's left tackle? Now, maybe like a lot of people say he's really good, he should have been recruited like higher and stuff like that, and like he's just like a bad seed. He needs like guidance. People need to really show him how, but if they show him how to do the job, he'll do the job. And it's like, isn't it kind of crazy that Ohio State needed to recruit San Diego State right tackle to be their left tackle, which is the most important position on the O-line? So all I have to say is, like, they better figure that out, because and Al Golden better figure out to blitz the shit out of the left side, because there's no way. It's like we haven't we been through this rodeo? Remember Kane Madden? Like, he was actually, before he ever was a guard for Notre Dame, he was like a first team all Sun Belt player. You know what I mean? Like, that guy was not a first team all Mountain West player. Like, he just like is just a dude that Ohio State got. So I would love your opinion. Do you know what I'm talking about? Like, it's like Ohio State better be ready, man. We're gonna put the crap on them.
Here's what it makes me think of. I already have it in my mind, man. I'm not trying to get ahead, but I kind of can't help it. The strength of their offense. I don't know. The skill talent, and they're going to have a relatively inexperienced quarterback getting those guys the ball. The best thing you can do is beat the hell out of that kid, confuse that kid, get home to that kid, speed up the clock in that kid's mind, and eliminate it before the ball gets in those guys' hands. That's what I need Al Golden to do. You better dial it up.
We need him to do that.
You better dial it up.
Like, you better fucking confuse that left tackle. I mean, come on. He committed the most penalties of anybody in the mountain, like anybody in the country.
Yeah.
Like, he all he can do is hold. So, like, I feel really good about things. I'm going to end on this. I think that, I really want Marcus Freeman to succeed. My only issue is that, if you look at Notre Dame coaches, like, when they're really great coaches at Notre Dame, it's like they're at their peak, they're most mature, that they're at their renaissance of their coaching. It's just like, what, Marcus Freeman is literally still only in his second year. It's like, I love the positivity of all your callers and stuff like that. Like, this is going to be the year. It's like, I need to see it to believe it, man.
Yeah.
We need to go out and we need to kick NC State's butt, and then we got to beat
Ohio State. It's like I'm sorry, it's going to be tough, but like you gotta exploit things like the left tackle being from freaking San Diego State.
Well,
like, we've got to do it.
Not only that, but the fact that if you are ever going to catch Ohio State, and it's most advantageous for Notre Dame, it's a year where you're doing it at home with the sixth-year guy that you trust, and they have the new guy, and they're coming to your place. Like Notre Dame needs to put up or shut up as far as these big games go.
Yeah.
And you know what else? I'm not going to, you know what else, man? I am not going to be able to come in this studio after those 3 games and go, you know what? This proves that Notre Dame needs a better quarterback and this and that. Like, that can't be it. I don't have that excuse. And I am excited to see what these big games are like without having that albatross and hanging over us going into the game where I already know we have the worst quarterback in the matchup. It'll be real good to just not have that.
You know what I will say, though, John, which is, like, I get that we want to talk about this year, and like we're in the middle of 2023. It's going to be I think it's going to be a great year. But you know what's so crazy? It's like, man, that guy Dalen McCullough is doing something interesting. Have you seen this Kedron Young guy who's committed to Notre Dame?
Yeah,
like,
supposed to be really good. And Aeneas, what's his name? Aeneas, whatever. They like him too. This guy's putting in work. He's putting in work.
I know, dude. Like,
pay the man. Pay the man.
Pay the man. Aeneas Williams' kid, like, I don't even really care about. It's like, that's how good Notre Dame's like running back situation is. Can you imagine Kedron Young? Like I think about Greathouse, who was playing legit competition. That's why he's a true freshman coming in right now, just ready to play.
Yeah.
It's like Kedron Young's playing the same competition and dominating, and he's like super fast too. And it's like, and he's big and fast. It's like, dude, I think our running back situation is going to be off the charts good.
Yeah. Like
in the next coming years, because like we're gonna have Love and we're gonna have Kedron Young. Like that is going to be the most stacked backfield since. Like I know you're and you and Pat know ND like to a T. So it's like, remember when Lou Holtz would just get awesome running backs? This is like very similar. Like, holy crap!
Yeah,
like
they're doing a great job.
I know we think that we have a great running back situation now. Like Kedron Young and Love, that might be like the most ridiculous like running backfield we've ever seen at Notre Dame. Like I'm not even kidding around. So I'll leave you on that.
I don't know, man. This is going to be it. We're just getting started here. After this week, maybe we're getting into the meat of some stuff, and we're going to get some real answers, man. But I can only react to what's hey, buddy. I can only react to what's in front of me and what's happened. You know, man. We got a game tomorrow. I can't talk about Ohio State yet.
I will end on this. NC State was not very impressive in the game that I watched.
Yeah,
I watched the UConn. I get they were on the road at UConn. It's like
6 yards to carry.
UConn does not have a home field advantage.
UConn,
like, don't try to tell me that
6 yards
UConn
to carry.
has some home field advantage. Like, come on, like that was a very pedestrian effort. Like we should kick the crap at NC State. If we don't, then it would scare me a little bit for Ohio State.
Yeah. They ran it. UConn ran it for 6 yards to carry on NC State. So if Notre Dame does anything close to that, they should be able to just kind of wear those guys down. Hey, man, it was really nice touching base with you. And thank you for your emails, too. I'll get back to you with reactions to a few of those, okay?
Hey, you're the man. Love you, John. I'm sorry. A lot of your fans think I'm negative. I'm just a regular Notre Dame fan. I lived through the Bob Davie, Ty Willingham, Charlie Weiss eras, so I need to see it to believe it.
Yeah,
come on.
There you go. That's fair, man. Hey, maybe for tomorrow, just relax, have a couple drinks, and enjoy an easy blowout, and then call me after. All right?
Hey, love you, buddy.
See ya. Have a good one. Oh man, a lot of people, man. A lot of opinions. Everybody thinks something about Notre Dame. All right, everybody. That's going to be it. We did a quick 2-hour show, man. We had some callers, and I was able to give them more time. Who's your daddy? Andrew Gilmore, Nick Dean, Rodney, Homer, Jose again. Hoosier again. Pat Cotter, of course, Jacob and Phil. Thank you, guys. Really, really, really appreciate the donations. Here's the deal, guys. Drink up tonight, sleep in tomorrow, enjoy the ball game, and then we'll go live right after it and call me and we'll talk about all the highlight plays we had. Get a good night's sleep, and we'll see you tomorrow. If you're going to the game, be safe, safe drive. Give me a call on the way home. Later.